the fact that Cousins went to Atlanta, Baker stayed put, Russ wound up with Pittsburgh, and then you see other teams like the Raiders go in the Gardner Minshew direction. The Commanders clearly setting up to take what looks like Jaden Daniels second overall by signing Mariota. The Patriots getting Jacoby Brissett for assuming a third overall drafted quarterback like Drake May. Leaves just to wonder, where does Justin Fields wind up? Like, what's going on with the Bears and their decision there and the timing on it, Mike?
Well, you know, Rich, when the Patriots got only a 6th-round pick for Mac Jones, who was drafted 4 spots after Justin Fields, was a Pro Bowler his rookie year, had a regression in 2022, due in large part to the fact that Bill Belichick thought it would be prudent to make a career defensive coach in charge of the offense. If that's all you get, and he lands at number 2 at best on the Jacksonville depth chart, what are the Bears going to get for Justin Fields? These teams want to go young, all the way down to rookie, the ones that need quarterbacks. And the fact that there were other free agent options available where you don't have to give up any value by way of draft pick compensation to get the guy, that has complicated it as well. And Rich, I've been trying to play this out in my mind. Like, where does this go from here? Is there a deal that's done in the short term? Do they hold him until after the draft, the 18-hour window between the end of round 1 and the start of round 2? Will there be a team that wanted a quarterback in round 1 that gets shut out from the guy they want? And so, okay, we'll do a deal with the Bears for Justin Fields. And if it doesn't happen then, do you run it all the way through the trade deadline and wait for someone to lose a starting quarterback? Is there a way that Justin Fields, Caleb Williams, Bears can coexist? Folks in Chicago think that can't happen. I was just on the Score before joining you. They say they got political signs in the yard signs. Justin Fields is our quarterback in Chicago. That's how big of a deal it is. And I'd like to say to those folks, if you really believe that, then the fact that no one's offering anything of value for a guy who's clearly available should tell you maybe you should revisit your position. But regardless, it's a big mess for the Bears. They need to figure out when to declare victory and retreat on this one.
So if they're putting yard signs out for Justin Fields in Chicago, does that mean Tyson Bagent is the vice president? Mike?
Yeah, I don't know. That's true.
I'm just,
well
obviously, welcome and thank you. Just trying to be current. But in all seriousness, though, what you said about how teams want to go young at quarterback, I kind of find this fascinating to me because last year, let me get this number right. I got this from Jack Andrade, NFL Network researcher, yesterday. I should have written it down rather than trying to find it in my phone live. Here it is. There were last year 67 different starting quarterbacks, and that was 4 behind the 71 the year before. The number of times that you're going to need a quarterback to keep your season alive, to keep your season going, to make sure it doesn't go south like, say, the Jets last year. And we can make more examples of that. I don't get it. Why wouldn't some team just decide to flip something for Justin Fields and get him and see how that works out while you get another young quarterback in, right? Like, I don't understand it because you could potentially strike gold with this kid with a chip on his shoulder. And let's just say you get him as a backup. Our colleague Albert Breer came on here yesterday. I said, name me a team that would take Justin Fields, and he spat the Eagles back at me. And that blew me away because, like say Hurts goes down, you stick Justin Fields in there, you can still go on a Super Bowl run potentially. Like, I don't understand why sometimes general managers want to play it cheap when that will absolutely come back to bite them in October or November. Mike, I don't get it.
You're absolutely right. Here, I think here's the problem. It's
Sure.
a practical matter. And anytime a quarterback gets a contract that has a no trade clause in it, I will inevitably say a no trade clause doesn't matter for a starting quarterback, because if that guy doesn't want to be on a given team, that team is never going to touch him because he's the heart and soul of the team. He's the face of the franchise. He's the guy who sets the agenda for everyone else. He comes early. He stays late. He works on Tuesday, except for one guy who doesn't work on Tuesday, but he's there all the time. He's your guy. You can't have him on your team if he doesn't want to be there. So if you're going to trade Justin Fields to be a backup somewhere else and he doesn't want that, that becomes a problem. I don't want to go play for you as the backup. I want to be a starter somewhere, which could maybe get him on board with this idea of letting it play out, give him the stats about 67 starting quarterbacks last year. Eventually someone's going to get injured and you get to go play there. So let's be patient. Let's wait for the right moment. We get what we want by way of trade value. You get what you want by way of a clear path to the field, and that's our best opportunity at this point. I think that, it's going to be in stages. Stage one, can we line up a trade before the start of free agency? Nope. Do we line something up after the first couple of days of the musical chairs happening? We'll see. If that doesn't happen, can we make it happen after round one of the draft? We'll find out. And then the ultimate end game would be, let's see what happens when the season starts. And Rich, what they could do, and Fields would have to agree to this, they could just say, you're on the team, but you're not on the team. You're on the Deshaun Watson plan. You stay home. You work out at the facility when no one's here. It's not going to be a distraction for the Chicago Bears, but we're in this holding pattern while we wait for an opportunity to trade you. And you get paid every step of the way, exactly like the Texans did with Watson. Different circumstances,
Of course.
different situation, but the same idea. If Fields is willing to do it, they could try to pull that off.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.